Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Thursday, the 1st of November of December 2022. It's the last month in the year of 2022. Look how time flies. I'm going to echo back here now. So viewers, remember we are live on Synergy Network. I have my own studio on Caroni Savannah Road in Shoguners. We are just sending a link to Synergy Television, who have the license to broadcast, and they are broadcasting for us in Trinidad and Tobago, of the Caribbean, and around the world. So call your friends, call your family, send them the little message. You know, I tell you this every night because we are the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. We have been holding that portfolio for some time now, and I encourage you to continue to view Real Talk with Saieed Ali, the #1 current affairs. So this is where we discuss the incident that happened on a daily basis. It's fresh news we bring to you every time. We want you to communicate with us, hence the reason why we have a telephone line. It's 238-6716. We want to hear from you, the people, that whatever it is that is going on in your community, we want you to highlight it. We want you to be part of this platform, which we are growing extremely fast. I mean, to hold the #1 position for the last 2 years, let me tell you something. You have to come good, you know. We don't just highlight crime. We deal with the issues that people are going through it on a daily basis. Whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's living condition, the road, the government, the different ministries, corporation, lack of funding, schools, security, you name it, we deal with it right here on this program. Hence the reason why we are the #1. And we are going to continue being the #1 because I'm going to continue being here for as long as God gave me the health and strength. Now, viewers, we created this program for you, for those of you who do not know about Real Talk with Saieed Ali, those of you who have been tuning in for the first time. There are some of us in Trinidad that started to look at the show last week and contacted me like, Saeed, we didn't realize that this program was about dealing with the issues that we the citizens deal with on a daily basis. Some of them recently recognized that. They say, wonderful program, continue. What do you want me to say? I just say thank you and continue viewing. That is all I say. So hence why every night I encourage you to share our social media platform. Remember, Real Talk with Saieed Ali on Facebook, TT Real Talk on YouTube, and Saieed Ali Real Talk on TikTok. Now TikTok is the #1 social media platform trending around the world. It is the biggest social media platform, and we are presently on that for the last month or so, or 2 months, something like that. But nevertheless, share our live stream, and share our live stream. We want to continue remaining the #1 in Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, remember, Real Talk Credit Union is offering you up to 4% on a fixed deposit. If you want to be a member, not a problem. Not a problem. You just have to contact our office at 238-6716, 339-1670, 267-7325, or you can even contact our South office at 242-7690. That is our numbers. Our numbers will be on screen shortly. Those are the numbers on screen. You can contact us, viewers. There's our numbers. Feel free to do so. Listen, I want you to have the best savings account possible for your children. I want you to have the best savings account possible for yourself. I want you to have the best fixed deposit system that would bring to you a big reward at the end of the year. And you're only getting that at Real Talk Credit Union information presently. So Trinidad and Tobago, hear this, sir. 4 people came by me today. And I said, Saeed, we have been looking at your program and we realized that the credit union information is up and running. So they said, we have realized also that you are paying the highest interest rate on fixed deposit, the highest interest on an annual savings. And they said, we can even open an account for their kids. I said, yes, correct. You heard correct. They said, Saeed, we are amazed at what you are doing for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, 3 of them are businessmen, and 1 is a father. He wants to open an account for his son. He was turned down by a financial institution right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and he and his son are citizens of our country. Let's imagine one time our Prime Minister said to open an account in the bank. I believe his daughter was turned down because the amount of documents you have to get. It's a shame. It's a shame. Now we understand the FIU and the central bank and whatever financial securities they have to look over the finance industry. But everybody knows, Saeed, 5 years now I've been in the network. In the public domain. Before I'm in the public domain in Trinidad, I used to travel abroad, meet ministers, because of the fact that I do spiritual work. Now, when there's a spiritual person doing spiritual work, all sorts of people come to you. It doesn't matter their office. From the president, come right down to the garbage collectors. Everybody in between. Hence the reason why I just come out on my platform and say, I do business who you are. When I want something done for the citizens of our country and you in our office, get your butt up and do it. Because you are a citizen of our country, you have been elected to represent the people of our country. And when you want to play hoity-toity and you feel because you're a minister, you have money and you have big house and you have big car, let me tell you something, when you're dead, you leave it right here. When I say that, I leave all that right here and I go in. I come with my hands closed, and I'll be going with my hands closed. So we just let a little wealth, a little power get into we head. Any one of you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, could visit my office, whether I am here or not, and ask any one of my 18 staff. We here Saeed be talking about wealth. Does power go to his head? And you know what I going to tell you? Saeed will always tell you, if power go to your head and wealth go to your head, you becomes nobody in society. You becomes the poorest person in society. Yeah. You have wealth, you're rich. But who are you? Who are you? You are left alone because of your richness. Yeah. People will look at you different and they will distance themselves from you because you have a little richness. And when you become, even though you are rich with wealth, you become a poor person. I wonder if someone can understand what I'm saying. That knowledge is high knowledge, you know. High knowledge. But nevertheless, you know, I always inspire you on this program. I always tell you, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and there will be growth. Forget what other people say. And you want to grow? Believe in yourself. Make your sacrifice. Press forward. When I started off on Synergy Network, Brian Haynes, he used to always say, Saeed, you now start. He said, your program is an interesting program. He said, let me tell you something. Keep your head above the water and keep pressing forward. Don't study what nobody say. You will get the positive callers, you will get the negative callers. But you, my friend, keep your head above the water and keep going forward. Doesn't matter if you feel that you're drowning. You just press forward. Not everybody could press forward. Not everybody. So we have leaders in society, we have middle class people, and we have lower end. The upper class is to lead the middle class, and the middle class is to lead the lower class. In life, there's a chain of command. And if you do not know how that chain of command run, you won't reach nowhere. But nevertheless, so as we start off our program tonight, viewers, remember 4% on fixed deposit is the highest in Trinidad. The highest. Real Talk Credit Union information. Remember that. So we started our program. Just a little update. Following a cabinet meeting earlier today and discussions with the Minister of Finance, a decision has been taken to allocate an immediate $40 million to National Food Relief Program. The fund will be added to the existing budgetary allocation in relevant ministries to provide sustenance and comfort for those directly distressed by the recent weather condition. Additionally, a further $100 million allocation has been made for urgent landslide and road reinstatement work nationwide. $10 million will also be available to assist the farming community that has been adversely affected by the recent flooding. So this is something we want to talk about tonight. With all this money being allocated, farmers, they are important in society today. Every agriculture minister that have been sworn in as a Minister of Agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago over the last 3 to 4 decades, what progress have they made in agriculture? What progress have they made in agriculture? I know when Clarence Shambarad was the Minister of Agriculture for the PNM administration, I used to have him on live interviews very often. Very, very often. Have anybody seen any growth in agriculture recently? Have anybody? So we're going to wait and see where all this money, all the allocations go to the various ministry. We're going to see how it has been distributed to the citizens that in need. Moving along. Minister of Health Terence Dayal Singh have stated that the healthcare workers can expect their cut of the $210 million extra gratia payments any day now. So now it's month end, it's the 1st of December. So nurses, healthcare workers in general is expected to be collecting their salary with an extra on it from $210 million that the government has approved. So if you are a healthcare worker, today being the 1st of December, if you have collected your salary and you got an increase, feel free to call in and let us know that yes, you got an increase. We want to know if the money have actually been sent to your account. That is what we want to know. We want to know that the government is keeping their end of the bargain. I'm going to tell you something. Not everybody could come out like side and make bold statements, you know. Not everybody, you know. Not everybody. On saying that, I want to say a special good night to Inspector Boxer of the Shogunas Police Station. I had the opportunity to meet with him for the last 2 days. It's been a pleasure meeting with him. I also want to say a special good night to the Central Division Task Force, our good friend Anil, who you could say practically runs the unit. I want to say a special good night to him and Inspector Boxer. Now, they both work hand in hand to keep crime down in the central area. And I want to commend them thus far for doing an excellent job. I'm a Shogunas boy. I live in Shogunas, and I work with people who try to keep our community safe. That is what I want to say tonight. We try to work as a network team. I want to say a special good night to Faik Mohammed, the mayor for Shogunas, also, who have been vying for roads in the Shogunas borough to be fixed. He have also been asking ministries, the Ministry of Finance for an allocation to fix the main road, to fix back road, to patch holes, to repave, for bridges. You know what I mean? Fight try his best sometimes. There are times I try to get him on interview live. We may get him, we may not get him, but I just want to tell him, continue pressing on, and I hope he gets through to the inspector boxer. Keep pressing, keep fighting for the safety of the citizens of our country, to the Central Division Task Force and officers of TTPS throughout Trinidad, whatever station you're from. We know it's tough out there. We know you get a lot of retaliation from the citizens. I just want to say, keep pressing forward. As long as you have your clean mind, a good intention, and a clean heart. A clean heart. Come out there, do your job, do your best, go back to your family. And may God protect you while you're out there. And it's the same thing I do every day. Monday to Friday, every night I come here and I fight for the citizens of our country. We fight for a safe TNT. We fight for a productive TNT. We fight for education. We fight for security. We fight for road. We fight for schools. We fight for health. I mean, these are the things I come out here on my program every single night from 7 to 8 p.m. on Synergy and fight for who? Not for me alone. Not for me alone, but I fight for the citizen. I fight as a strong pillar. I stand bold, I stand brave, I stand against whoever is opposing our country from being a proper country. Yes, there are elements that would want Saieed out of business. Yes, there are elements that maybe want to kill Saieed. Let me tell you something. One thing I don't tolerate is threat from people, you know. That's one thing I don't do. From the time you threaten me, I walking straight up on your door, down here I am, you know. This is the kind of man I is, you know. You see, God called me to be a leader, and I will lead without fear. You know, some of you that are looking on would say, oh, Saieed boasting. It's not boasting, you know. It's standing up for your rights. That is what I do. I stand for my rights, and I stand for the rights of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I do. Minister of Health Terence Dial Singh. So, healthcare workers, if you collected your salary, call in 238-6716, let us know. Now, around 20,000 healthcare workers are expected to receive this payment as initially promised by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley in August 2022 and allocation in the 2023 budget. This payment is supposed to be the government way of repaying the healthcare workers for their hard work during the pandemic. It is still unclear as to how much each employee will receive. However, in September, TNT Registered Nurses Association President Idris Stewart expressed his opinion that some healthcare workers should be compensated more than others since clinically and nursing staff work with patients 24/7. They were also concerned over receiving the money in a timely manner as they believe that was long overdue. He added that the increase in food and gas price was increased expense for the workers also. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back from that, we're going to talk about the age you wanted to lift the scrap iron ban in our country after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
'Tis the season, 'tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night, what do you know? We having fun. It's the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parangero. I think so can shut me also. So I bring no shoot bego. So I bring no send me loco. I'm a parangero. I think so can shut me also. Just season them what I drink your cook them.
Real Parang, real talk with Saieed. Yeah.
Real Talk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Grony, Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Real Talk Credit Union.
Remember, viewers, to share our TikTok live stream. It's Saieed Ali Real Talk. We are trending on the #1 social media platform in the world. So share our live stream on TikTok. So here it is. The government is now looking at partially lifting the exportation ban on scrap metal items before year end. However, Attorney General Regional Armour stated that this ban will only come in effect when the new legislation is to legislate the industry is passed and the ban on copper export will stay in place. The ban was implemented on August 12th and was scheduled to run till February 23rd, but Armour promised to review it after 3 months. While Armour said the ban will be lifted before December 31st, he did not actually give a definite date for when dealers could resume operation. Armour stated that the ban on copper was being continued because it was linked to the significant criminality and component of the national security infrastructure. Listen to this.
Given the significant criminality which took place with respect to the stripping of copper from very important fundamental infrastructural parts of Trinidad and Tobago, electricity, cable and wireless, communications, and other components of the national security infrastructure that allow us to communicate with each other in Trinidad and Tobago and to communicate with the world outside, where copper was being stripped away from the cables underground and other fiber optic cables of national state institutions and a lot of private institutions. The government, even though it has widened the definition of scrap metal, and I will read that definition, has decided to keep the ban on copper exports for at least 1 further year.
Now, he added that the reason for running it for a year is that the new legislation and regulation can take effect, and if satisfied, there is a possibility of reducing that year. Listen to the AG.
The thinking behind running it for a year is that once the new legislation and regulations take effect and we can get a regulated industry going forward, we will monitor the situation, and as we get more and more satisfied that we are now operating in a properly regulated scrap metal industry environment, we will keep under consideration the possibility of reducing that year. We will continue to have consultations with the stakeholders and, of course, continue to have consultations with the different entities who have been very badly injured with the vandalism and criminality that was occurring prior to the 12th of August. It will be kept under review, and I gave Mr. Ferguson, I was about to say Mr. Stakeholder, I gave Mr. Ferguson and the stakeholders that assurance. But for the time being, the ban remains for a year, and the government will review it at the end of the year.
Now, viewers, the AG also noted that part of the regularization include, in the draft, featured higher penalties for infractions ranging from $50,000 sole monetary fine to $200,000 monetary fine and 1 year imprisonment. Listen to this.
The offenses are going to be very heavy. They range from $50,000 in some instances to as much as $200,000 and to terms of imprisonment of as much as a year for offenses under the Act. The nature of the offenses are falsifying the license, providing false information to the inspectors, obstructing the police or authorized officers in the discharge of their functions. So under the new bill, under the Act, when it comes into law, there is an officer that is known as an authorized officer. First definition in the section 2 means a police officer, a public health officer of a regional corporation, an environmental officer of the Environmental Management Authority, or a scrap metal inspector.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back from this break, we're going to hear what these scrap iron industry dealers have to say. We have a call? Caller, good night. Well, we lost that. So viewers, we are going for a break, but when we come back, we're going to hear what these scrap iron dealers have to say.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Tis the season, tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night, with you. Know we having fun. It's the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parandero. I sing sugar and chutney also. Sugar prang no shoot chimego. Sugar prang no send me loco. I'm a parandero. I sing sugar and chutney also.
Real Parang, Real Talk with Saieed. Hiya!
Realtalk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Coroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Realtalk Credit Union.
So welcome back to Real Talk with Saieed Ali, viewers. You remember there's a rerun at this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. So if you miss it during the night, you can catch it in the morning time. Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association expects its members to be issued with 2 new type of license to deal in scrap metal before year end. Association President Alan Ferguson reiterated that in place of the government's previous 6 months ban on the industry laid down 4 months ago, the government has ordered a bill to be drafted to regulate the sector. Ferguson estimated that process will take about 2 weeks. He said the new license would be needed for exporting containers full of scrap metal. He also thanked the government for its measures in line with the association had been lobbying for. However, Ferguson said would-be exporters of copper would first have to obtain a separate license when the government reopened the local copper market. During the briefing, he said his association wanted to help people earn honest livelihood, such as by creating artwork from scrap metal instead of relying on handouts or turning to crime. I'm going to tell you something. That's a well-said statement. That I want to commend the association president for making. I really want to commend him for that. Because they are skilled individuals out there with craft. Draw it out on a piece of paper, get your metal, do your work. Like those individuals who build windows, steel windows. That's creativity. But then again, not many of us know how to do that, or not many of us would actually go and learn a trade. We rather find out how much for a legal firearm on the street, borrow some money, get that firearm, and you go and do a robbery. We're quick to do that in Trinidad. We're quick to do that. You know, sometimes people ask me, Said, how it is you get so big so fast? 17 hours a day for 16 years, my friend. 17 hours, 16 hours, 15 hours a day for 16 years. That has been my hours, and I'm still looking handsome. I'm still looking handsome. It's the grace of God. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Yes, I put that caller, right?
Welcome to Real Talk.
I just called that I was concerned for this flood over the Elbrook South. It's the Chanka Trace. Since a month we have water in the road, and now this flood comes, it caused real chaos.
Chanka Trace, exactly where Chanka Trace is in South?
El Socorro South.
Where?
El Socorro South.
El Socorro South.
Yeah.
Okay,
now,
okay.
Now bamboo water gone down. No water, but we can't go down. At least 1 month water in the street, and now the big flood comes, it go right 5 feet of water everybody.
So how
nobody not seen about over the highway.
So how come that water remained there for so long?
It does not move in, then all that rainfall did not move in.
So there is no drainage or flow?
Drainage and everything blocked, nobody to clean, who to go to.
I understand. Here what to do?
I mean, Saddam coming to do it, but poor Saddam, he's trying and he's not failing with the government, nobody not care.
Here what to do for me? Do a little video of it, right?
Yes, I can send a video for you.
Do a little video and send it to 267-7325. 267-7325. That's a WhatsApp number. Send the video. When you send the video, send a little detail with it and just state El Socorro South, and I will know it is from you.
Thank you so much.
We will highlight it on our Friday night program. Thank you so much, my friend. So, UNC MP Saddam Hussein is now questioning the Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, to tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago what was the outcome of that October 31st, 2022 National Security meeting. This, as he called on the ministry or the minister to tell the country what the government action crime plan is to make TNT safer. Listen to this.
We have come from a time where you could have left your house open. But now, this government has has condemned us into self-imposed jails, guarded by burglar-proof and security cameras. Where has our beautiful republic gone? Our nation's schools are a second home for a child. It is a place where our children are meant to be safe. And none of us in this chamber can deny that it was heartbreaking seeing the video of the infants of the Rose Hill Primary School hiding under their desk, seeking protection from open gunfire in broad daylight.
Talking about that, you all saw the video. The video where the student beating up the father. You all saw that video? I believe it's on social media platform. That is terrible. That is ridiculous. We'll try to get it and we'll try to... I saw the video today, but I was so busy. But nevertheless, we'll get it. Hussein made the comments as he piloted an opposition motion in Parliament which sought to condemn the government for failing to address the serious crime level. MP said, "We have come from a time when you could have left your house open, but citizens have now been confined into self-imposed jail." He also recalled the Rosary Hill Primary incident that occurred in daylight. Hussein added that criminals are no longer waiting for the death of night to come out. Listen.
And then I asked the government, and I hope that the Minister of National Security spends his time instead of politicking, but rather telling us what is the anti-crime plan going forward to make our country safe. Because you will remember, Madam Speaker, on the 31st of October, the Prime Minister quickly had a meeting of the National Security Council together with the divisional heads of the TTPS. And around that time, there were 16 murders in 4 days. So obviously it was a time for PR tactics. Can the Minister, when he's responding, tell us what came out of that meeting? Because since that meeting, there were over 40 murders in Trinidad and Tobago. 40 murders. Can you tell us what are the objectives of that meeting? What differences came out of that meeting? Because, Madam Speaker, a couple days ago, all we heard is the Prime Minister, after taking a break from playing golf, gave us an entire composition or essay about West Indies cricket. So while he's on Facebook talking about cricket, our citizens are being bowled out by criminals.
Well said, Saddam. Well said. So Trinidad and Tobago, remember I showed you a picture last night? I am looking for information concerning this CSS media company that does software. If any of you who contacted this company to build a software for you, please contact me. I believe this would have been the guy running CSS. Public ID card? I believe this would have been the guide, Andre Samuel. So if you have any information, viewers, please contact me at 339-1670. Remember, it's the CSS Media, the page, put back up the page, Giles. So any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago contacted that company to build that software, could you please contact me at 339-1670. So moving along, viewers, we're going to Minister Hines now. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines have stated that there are people in this country celebrating the increase in crime every chance they get. Hines rejected claims from the opposition that the government was not providing the police with adequate resources and interfering in its affairs. This, as he described the contribution by Barataria Sawa MP Saddam Hussein as flimsy and uneducated. Listen to this.
People celebrate it. They are happy to see it. Quite apart from the fact that people are crying and suffering out there. You hear them every day singing off the top of their voices, how much murders, how much murders, how much murders. Well, that wouldn't solve it, you know. It is action like I've just described that will deal with it.
When Fitzgerald Hines allegedly said, "It is not my job to make the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago feel safe? All remember that? All remember that Trinidad and Tobago? How many of you remember that? But hear him now. Hear him now. Looking at the direction of opposition MP, Hines said, Hussein was unaware that 42 guns went missing from the Forensic Science Center in St. James. Did you hear that? 42. When the UNC government was in power. Now, he stated, you see, this is what I don't understand. The backhand throwing thing, it don't work. You are the Minister of Security. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Hines states that there is a criminal investigation taking place in the matter called Live Sport that started when the MP Kamla Prasad Bisasa was Prime Minister of this country. Without calling names, Hines recalled that an elected MP resigned as a government minister for that crime. The minister states that everyone talking about crime, but he questioned, tell me who are the real criminals. Listen.
So a member of parliament resigned as a minister of government and a member of parliament for that crime. There's a crime debate. And the first opportunity, the matter ain't finished yet, you know. The chip's still up in the air. But the member for Siparia brought back that member in the very parliament again. That's why I tell you, everybody talking about crime, but tell me who are the real criminals.
Madam Speaker, 48.6, no member shall impute improper motives to any other member of the House.
Of course, that's what you just did.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Improper?
Who are the real criminals? Who are the Minister of National Security presently? Is it Kamala? Is it that minister that resigned? Is it Saddam Hussein? Or is it Fitzgerald Hines' job? Is it not Fitzgerald Hines' job to come down on the acting commissioner of police and the acting commissioner of police come down on his TTPS officer? To demand in Trinidad that make sure that there's a low level of criminal activity in our country. But you know what Hines allegedly said? As the Minister of National Security, it is not my duty to make the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago feel safe. Whose duty is it as a Minister of National Security? Whose duty is it? Is it Terence Dialsing? Is it Rohan Sinanan? I want to know, who is it? Whose job is it? Mr. Hines? Is it my job? Believe me, if I had that authorization and power you had, Trinidad and Tobago would have seen something totally different. But having power and not acting on your portfolio is two different things, Hines. I want you to understand that. And I, Saieed Ali, I'm telling you that on live television. There's a difference between having power and there's a difference between acting on your power. I have the power and you do nothing with it. But having the power and acting on it, it shows the type of person you are. Hines also rejected UNC claims of political interference in the police service, and he dismissed claims that the government is not providing the police with resources to help them fight crime. He said the police recently recruited some retired police officers to assist current officers in cold case. They couldn't solve it when they was working, so when they're not working, you bring them back to solve it. Let me tell you something. What kind of foolish, ridiculous, doke-da move is that? They're working as police officers and you will solve the crime. When you retire, you go solve it? No wonder why he said that. It is not my job to make the citizen feel safe. The officers, while on duty for X amount of years, couldn't solve the crime. You know? My age reach, I go and resign. When your time resign now, they pull you back in the force to solve a crime. Allegedly, you all supposed to solve while you're working. While you're working, when you're on duty. But when you resign, you will fix it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It's sense versus common sense. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
My friend, go right ahead.
Saeed, I want to touch on two things really. First of all, I was reading the article concerning customs and excise and this whole JSC meeting they had, right? Now, I listened there, I read everything that customs and excise was saying, and they have a good point. If they're saying that only 3,000 containers get checked for the year so far, alright, that's fine. But then the Minister of Finance is in charge of customs and excise. So why is it they could not allocate funds to get scanners up and running, or to repair them, or to get new scanners? Why did they reach to this? That 16 or 18 or 19,000 containers pass through and nobody know what is hiding containers. And then they put in Fitzgerald line to fight crime, the biggest crime fighter. The man don't know nothing side. The man going in a party in South and dancing, and people in Bamboo want to wake up and swim out of their house. Just imagine that. And them fellas and they want to call themselves crime fighters. You see your party, Donald Jacob raised himself with that plus. I don't know who the self-praise themselves like. Tell me that. The man rated himself as a B+, so I don't want to know where's that F on the side. Where's that F?
Thank you.
Alright, sir. Enjoy your night.
So hear this now. While we're talking about Jacob, Acting Police Commissioner McDonald Jacob has given himself a B+ for his performance and has defended his crime-fighting strategies. Listen that, strategies, saying they were constantly involved in ordering to address the changing landscape of crime and criminality in Trinidad and Tobago. Acknowledging that criticism and direct attack regarding crime-fighting efforts under his tenure, after the country set a new record of murder this week, he stated that they look at individuals and not at situation and what is existing. This as he responds to calls from certain quarters and a frustrated public for him to step down as the head of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Asked if he would consider to call to resign from office, Jacob replied, "If I do that, I will actually cause a lot of disappointment and create a lack of motivation among the men and women in TTPS." But Jacob, what you do? What you do? Since Gary Griffin left office, crime increased. Everybody in Trinidad seen that. Just imagine, recently the U.S. issued to the citizens of Trinidad today, do not travel to Trinidad. They issued that to their people. But you talking about if you step down, it will be lack of motivation. Let me tell you something. Do like the former commissioner of police. Get up on your damn foot and start doing something. Lack of motivation, my tail. You have none. And I tell you that on national television, you have no motivation for TTPS. None. Otherwise, crime in Trinidad and Tobago would have been under control. You are acting commissioner of police. A legit a legit commissioner of police had crime under control in Trinidad and Tobago. You acting and you give yourself a B. B for what? What B stand for? Back in the day? Bouncing around? Talk now, man. He said, I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. I am one man, ain't afraid to come out and talk the truth about any minister or anybody in position in Trinidad and Tobago. I will tell you something. Listen this. The acting commissioner of police has a job to do. The president has a job to do. The Prime Minister has a job to do. And Saieed Ali on Real Talk with Saieed Ali live on Synergy Network have a job to do. You know what's my job? To demand from those in authority action. That is my job. Demand, make it happen, put it into work. That is my job. Let me tell you something. When I start demanding things that change, you know. Things that change. Me spending over $1 million a year just to come and be how do you call it? A famous guy in Trinidad, you know. I was famous. The spiritual work I doing. I meeting with ministers outside Trinidad and Tobago. Not in Trinidad and Tobago, outside before I become a TV host. I'm a real estate businessman. I'm into security and intelligence. I'm into money lending. Now Real Talk open its credit union. I have grown. You know what I call that? Performance. What Jacob did. What Jacob? Let me tell you something. What Jacob did. B is for backyard. B is for bunks, 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 bunks. He reached right here and he stopped right here. They can't do nothing again. What strategy do you have for TTPS? What? When last you heard an island-wide raid? When last you heard TTPS and the officers, they are in what's the word for that is used, boy? I have a word that is used. It can't come to me right now. But when last you heard of a station in a district taking charge of the community? When last you heard that? Gary Griffith was a man who used to do that. We're going down in the south, we're going to take South Station, and we're going to raid the community of illegal activities. We're going on. One to Jacob. So acting commissioner don't have the power that the commissioner have? Come now man, do something now man. Don't just hold your head up high up and say as an acting commissioner and you give yourself a B. B for what? So viewers, hey, I want to say it, you know. We're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about acting police commissioner McDonald Jacob have stated his job involved serial analysts and formulating policies, also defending. When we come back from this break. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
I don't know what to say, but you're saying everything, boy. I don't know if you're sweating in that AC, but I see in your forehead shining. Listen to me. The heads always have to be the heads.
Always.
The tail can't control the head.
Nah.
Because it have animal with bobtail. You understand? And I will tell you that B word what you want to say about Jacob.
Hey, you let me just say it.
You understand? He's a bastard.
I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for this. Viewers,
have a nice night.
We are going for a short commercial break, but we'll be right back after this to wrap up.
Tis the season, tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night to you. Know we having fun. It's the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parangero. I sing soca and shot me also. Soca prang no shoot Trimego. Soca prang no send me loco. I'm a parangero. I sing soca and shot me also. Just reason them what I drink your cook them.
Real Parang, Real Talk with Saeed. Hiya!
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Coroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Realtalk Credit Union.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Acting Police Commissioner McDonald Jacob has stated that his job involved serious analysis and formulating policies. He also defended crime-fighting strategies, introducing to steer persons away from deviant behavior. So you tell me how that worked. How did that work? Because since Jacob took over, crime escalated. So how that worked? I would still like to hear the answer for that. Jacob stressed that while hard strategies of surveillance, arrest and search were necessary, community outreach program aims to preventing crime from happening in the first place were just as important. Let me tell you something. You know how that will become important? Is if the officers in the station itself comes out and meet with citizens of the community and build a bond. That is the only way you will reap reward. Just saying something, not condemning. He also stated that crime was not a simple matter of arrest and killing criminals. Not a simple arrest. So the man selling illegal firearm, you can make a simple arrest. Where you have to get a doctor from the States to come and check him out to make sure he go to arrest? Talk now, Jacob. Al-Rawi, when the Venezuelans was coming in, Al-Rawi had the boat number. Al-Rawi had the bus number, that transport. Al-Rawi had the name. Al-Rawi know where the house, where the busman and the boatman and everybody living. We hear nothing from that. We hear nothing from that. They claimed they knew how many gangs we have in Trinidad. We're talking Ministry of National Security, yeah? They claim they know how many gangs we have in Trinidad. They know how many gang members we have in Trinidad. They knew where the gang dwells, but they can't make a simple raid. Let me tell you, McDonald Jacob, you see the statement you making? Me was you being an educated individual to be placed in Trinidad and Tobago as the acting commissioner of police. I would have retracted all these statements you make if I was you. When they ask for a comment, you have nothing to say. But nevertheless, viewers, we are out of time for tonight. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. It's Friday. We'll be here live from 7 to 8 p.m. Until we meet again, Al-Madr Keba Ala Anta. Do not believe whatever they say when they are in power. Good night.